Welcome back.
To Marriage Beyond the Veil. Well, I'm doing some of my counseling coaching sessions today. I was speaking with people and they were talking about working in the yard, working in gardens, and all that kind of stuff. Not my strong suit, but hey. So I found out a lot today.
Okay.
About seeds, seedlings, and then you just have like a plant or a tree. So I remember mom, when she was trying to get ready for graduation party, she brought like a whole tree, like a big tree. They had like this big bottom, and they threw it in, dug a hole, and put it in the ground,
Okay.
and just prayed that it did what it needed to do because those are expensive. But you can have like a seed, buy a little pack of seeds, plant it. Then you can have a seedling. A seedling is a seed that's already germinated and it's coming out already out of the dirt.
Okay.
Okay, and then you can buy just like I call them baby plants. So they're not mature, but they're already started growing. They've got roots already, unlike a seed. And so they're in a already starting to mature place. So when you think about love relationships, seed, seedling, plant, tree.
Okay.
All right. So what are we?
We would definitely be a tree. It's interesting because when you start with a seed, right, you really don't have much of anything. You have the basis for something that will potentially grow.
That's true.
And that can be something significant, but you never know. And it all depends on what type of care and how it is treated. Because the interesting thing about a seed, they have to be planted. But whether people realize this or not, seeds have coatings.
They do.
And so it needs an opportunity to be watered, to be nurtured,
Fertilized.
right? Fertilized, that's part of the nurturing. But the first thing that happens with a seed, it has to go down.
That's right.
Take root. So, there are things where that coating on the seed begins to break, right? And before you see anything above the soil, a lot is taking place. Below. And I would say, in the beginning stages of a love relationship, that often may be the case. If you're caring for it really well, but people may get frustrated because they don't see anything above the soil.
Exactly.
When a lot is happening, that coating is breaking, and then it has to begin to take root because first it has to grow down before it can grow up, because if it just grew up, it wouldn't have anything to sustain it.
And it's not rooted. It's not stabilized, and it's nothing to pull the nourishment from.
So, but with the seedling, like you said, you've already got some growth.
Yes.
You've got some roots, some foundation, and so that can be planted in soil, and it's basically got a head start.
Yeah, it does. Still needs
nurturing, still needs to be cultivated, it still needs to be cared for, but it's not in the infancy stage as a seed.
Right. And it does need sun, and it needs the right amount of sun and all of that.
Now, with seeds, as well as seedlings, though, being mindful of how to care for it, because too much water may kill it.
Yeah, take it out quick.
And so that's the thing when you're talking about seeds and seedlings. No matter how much progress has been made, it can be snuffed out if it's not properly cared for, if it's not given sunlight, proper sunlight, or too much sunlight.
Exactly.
All those kinds of things. Then when you get into a plant.
A plant has a little bit more stability. You can sort of see, if you water it, you can tell when it's dry. So it gives you some little signs there.
Right, because, if it gets too much heat, it begins to droop, or if it's not dry enough, the same thing. But when it's being properly cared for, you have so much more to look at and so much more to examine, if you will, to know. But then you've got the tree. And a much more significant root system, much more, greater strength, depending upon the age of the tree, because some trees bend and sway.
That's right.
Right? But then some trees, when you get to the point that you're too old, like an old oak, it's not going to do much bending.
No, it's not.
It'll break first.
Yeah. Okay, just had a work thought, but okay.
Which denotes like people's hate behaviors
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, when you're younger and you're
flexible,
finding your way,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you're looking for your root system.
Yeah.
But as you grow, then it's like, oh, I got some stuff going on. But then when you really get grown, you tend to be so
stuck in your ways.
interesting. Where are you in your love relationship? Are you a seed? You know, that it has to be planted. It has to be careful, but there's a lot of stuff happening that you may not see yet.
Right.
But it doesn't mean it's not happening. Or seedling, where you've seen some growth. You've got something to measure, but it still needs to be cultivated. It still needs to be, taken care of. Or are you a nice, strong, healthy plant? Or a mighty oak? Remember, strong, right, can endure a lot. But unlike a young tree, it won't bend, tends to break. Until tomorrow, if the Lord says the same.
Have a good evening.